right, it is August, and we have an August blockbuster that has hit theaters. The End of Oak Street. And where to begin? The marketing on this film really, to me, was lackluster. I only saw like one or two trailers, and that was pretty much it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so either this is a throwaway film, or they're not comfortable and confident with it. And I went out of the theater latter of the half of that. This actually is a very enjoyable film. It's very, very simple, very simplistic story about a family whose neighborhood in town gets transported back to prehistoric times. And it's done in a 1980s style, I think 1982, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1982. So with that, you get that nice vibe that you would get out of like a Spielberg film. And I'm not trying to compare this to Spielberg because Spielberg is here and this is over here. It comes from the director who did It Follows, if you remember that film from early 2000s, a horror movie about STDs. And this is his next thing. And it was very shocking to see him go from that to this because that had a very huge metaphorical side to it. And this is very, very, very simplistic. More simplistic than Jurassic Park, which a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people comparing this to a Jurassic Park film. And it's a film about dinosaurs and people fighting dinosaurs. Anne Hathaway killed it, like always. Penelope from the Odyssey fighting dinosaurs. What else do you need? And then we got Ewan McGregor, who is in here, who makes some very questionable choices in the way he approaches things. The film pretty much is self-contained in this house with only a few elements that are done outside of the house. And Anne Hathaway is pretty much like, let's go. We want to live. We gotta have to fight for it. And Ewan McGregor's like, no, I'm thinking we hang out in the bedroom and we'll be safe here. I think we're gonna hang out in the house and, lock ourselves in here, and that's how we're gonna survive. He was, in my opinion, pretty useless as a character. The kids did fine. Young actresses did what they needed to do to help move the story along, and we pretty much the entire runtime of this film, and it's a little over an hour 30, very, very quick, which is quite interesting because the beginning of this film, in my opinion, was very, very slow. Very slow beginning. It takes some time to get going. And I don't know if it fully gets going the speed that you would like for it to go. It is a blockbuster film. I think it has like a $90 million budget on it. I love talking about budgets and seeing, did the film use it? And this film, to me, I think did. It did everything that it was, supposed to do, that the script gave it to do. And the script, to me, has some problems. Some, logical physics issue. I mean, yeah, it's a story about a neighborhood that gets transported back to prehistoric times, something that can't happen. And dinosaurs roaming, which I loved. I loved the CGI. I thought was great. Very good CGI. Dinosaurs with feathers looked great. But I was glad to finally see what the Jurassic Park films had been building up to, which was dinosaurs roaming in the real world. And it was exactly the way you thought it would go down, except for in the small neighborhood and town that we are in. And seeing it through a family of four, because for the most part, we're with Ewan McGregor, Anne Hathaway, and their kids in this film. That's mainly who we hang out with. Yeah, we get introduced to characters here and there. A grumpy old guy who complains a lot because he doesn't like his new neighbors. Some comedic aspects that way. And then let me talk about the jump scares with this film. They were done solid. They were done really, really well, especially for a film that the trailers that we did get, to me, and seeing the previous work of our director here, to me, I'm like, this is going to be a nice, solid R-rated action film with dinosaurs. An R-rated dinosaur film. They're going to lean into it and push the boundaries and show us really, really good, intense moments. And then I get hearing that it's a PG-13 dinosaur flick. And I'm like, okay, so they're not gonna lean into what I thought. And I walked away saying, you did it. You gave us a solid PG-13 action film with some really intense moments. Some really intense, jump scares. You actually did it. And the way David Robert Mitchell, our director here, orchestrated that and made it and filmed it looked amazing. It looked really, really good. And I think that comes from the fact that the film knows. The film knows what it is. The film knows what it wants to be. And even though there's a couple of question marks here and there, it doesn't fully answer your question or your questions, because there's a couple times that I walk away. I'm not going to go into spoilers. I walked away going, I wish they would have fleshed that out more. Or, oh, I wish they would have answered this question. And I get it for the film pacing's sake that it already kind of creeped its way through at the very beginning. Like I said, it's like 99 minutes. Very, very quick film. I get that from the aspect that there was a couple times that they had to probably get rid of a couple of moments. The film knows what it wants to be. The film knows it's cheesy, it's campy. It's a campy film taking place in the 1980s. Like I said, very Spielberg-esque. And what's really cool is to sit back and be brought into this world going, feel like it's Jurassic Park. Feel like it's E.T. There's moments with bicycles and it goes, oh, that's E.T. Has that vibe. And that vibe was before I was born. So I didn't get to experience the 80s, but I felt like I did for the time that we spent with this film. And the film knows there's flaws within the script and the way it works around that. And I like to say, if you can sit back and turn your brain off and enjoy a film, you're going to really walk out enjoying this movie. And I know there was one little piece of marketing that kind of struck everybody different ways, more hate, and I get it. And that was the AI dog podcast marketing for a film about dinosaurs. Yes, there is a dog in the film, but you're going to take an AI dog podcast commercial to advertise a movie about dinosaurs. Not a very good look for a film that you're not heavily advertising already, that has a $90 million budget attached to it. not a good look. So when I saw that, I was hesitant that they went that route and that maybe this wasn't gonna connect and really do it for me. I had a good time. It's the type of film I like. I can't wait to go back and see it again. I don't know if that's gonna be theaters or I'm gonna wait till it comes home release and just put it all in the background, get a nice big bowl of popcorn, some candy, a drink, kick my feet back, and enjoy a film about a neighborhood fighting dinosaurs. There's my thoughts about The End of Oak Street. Let me know down below, is this a film that you are looking forward to and excited for, or is this one that the trailers really didn't quite do it for you, and maybe you're going to skip out on it? Or did my thoughts and opinions on this change your mind and make you want to go and support your local theater this weekend and see The End of Oak Street? I'm going with a solid 70% on this one, and I generally recommend you go out and see it. That is all my thoughts on this film. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.